Um, my top five DMV rappers of all time. So, I'm from. This is my original. Where I'm originally from, and where I grew up. You know, mostly in my youthful day, childhood, all that. For those who do know or don't know, whatever, DMV area mainly was or is a go well, not so much now, but in my time growing up was mostly a go-go city. Go-go was the predominant music that was, promoted for the most part and celebrated, what I'm saying? Not to say that people didn't listen to hip hop and stuff. They definitely did. But go-go was like the main music that was, um, celebrated. So, hip hop didn't really become a thing for until I would say the last decade, starting with, in my personal opinion, Wale. I think Wale was the pioneer of shifting the sound in the DC area to hip hop mainly, and other artists kind of coming along after. So I gotta, one of the, things I want, Wale is definitely um, a major pioneer in the DC, DC and area, DMV. You know what I'm saying? I give him credit for that. You know what I'm saying? Kind of shifting the sound in terms of, what the DMV was the type of music that, artists and that people was listening to. And obviously, when he, got mainstream, he, you know, made go-go records and stuff like that. He kind of put that go-go sound on joints. And, you know, I remember being at school at Michigan State, and people really didn't. This go-go sound was like just completely, what I'm saying, unfamiliar. But for me, I knew where it came from. But they only knew the hip hop Wale type thing. Um, but Wale, and he's start off. He's as you know one of my top fives from the DMV. His ability to just uh, be a poet on a lot of tracks. Has had some dope verses. You know, very standout verses on a lot of records, features, and his own joints. A lot of just you know radio hits. People don't get Wale got a lot of radio hits, a lot more radio hits than people may consider. But he got a lot of radio hits, and I just want to give Wale his flowers a little bit because I don't think he gets as much. You know, he talks about in a lot of his interviews about how he doesn't get that kind of you know recognition in terms of the culture, in terms of the impact he's had. But I recognize, and I just want to give Wale his flowers and his credit because I recognize um, what he's done in terms of the culture and how he's influenced and impacted the culture in his way, especially in the DMV area. And so, yeah, so Wale, then Logic, um, one of the very very good lyricist. I really like his ability to you know, uh, I say just switch up his flows on records, on joints. He got different flows, and I like him. Very creative in his projects, and it's always kind of thematic with his projects. Um, which I think is really dope about Logic. Um, and I can tell he's one of those guys who really loves the hip hop, and I can relate to that because I'm somebody who really does love hip hop and music and stuff like that. But Logic, Shy Glizzy, uh, he's another artist, um, listen to um, early, 2014, 15 era when I think he kind of started making his own like scene, you know, coming to the scene and got a lot of cultural, just like uh, club bangers and just like good joints that on his albums that I listen to and stuff like that. Um, and he got his own like unique sound um, that he has that makes him unique and I like it. I'm a guy who really likes when people have their own like sound and style type thing. And I think Shock Lizzie's one of those rappers and artists who got his own sound. He never was trying to bite off somebody else's kind of thing. Think of when he first came onto the scene when he tried dissing Chief Keef, but other than that he he got his own kind of style and thing going on. Um, then I go Pusha Pusha T, one of the dopest lyricists of all time. Um, you know, from stemming back to his Clips days to now, and stuff he was good music days with Kanye and all that. Um, just really one of them top tier wordsmith rappers, in my opinion. I think um, when it comes to bodies of works, always has a very unique body of work. Um, he never comes with the same kind of stuff, in my opinion, when it comes to his body of works. All his body of works are very different and unique in its own way. Um, his clever bars um, is something that I admire him. Uh, he can rap with the best of them. We heard him on joints with Kanye, Jay Z, and all these, uh, Black Thought, Benny the Butch, Freddie Gibbs, this goes on and, you know, hold his own, of course, have maybe the best verse on the record. So yeah, Pusha, and then to round it out, I'm gonna say Corday. Um, he's an artist that I think, you know, very dope in terms of his lyricism, his 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 clarity and how he, you know, raps his bars. Um, he's very clever with bars, and I recognize it. Like this is some of the projects that he's put out. Um, very introspective kind of artist, and you know, gonna be looking forward to seeing him continue to develop as an artist. Um, so that rounds out my top five. Um, and so honorable mentions that I got to mention from the area: Q the Fool, uh, Rico Nasty, Gold Link, IDK, um, all great artists in their own right. All have made you know good joints, good records, created their own audience of people who listen to them. And so definitely uh, shout out to them. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that rounds out my list of DMV rappers um, that I think fit my all-time list.